Hello, everybody. My name is Jack,
I'm Richie.
and today we are chopping it up.
We got a little special guest. We found him on the side of the road. His name is Michael.
G1 Gamers First, very own Michael Maguire. How are you doing today?
You know, it was a long drive up here, but we made it. We're living back in the old stomping grounds.
Yeah, dude. So Michael used to go to NAU. Just graduated a couple years ago.
We did.
Yeah. So, dude, should we just hop right into it?
Yeah, I mean, well, where are you driving from, first off?
So I currently live in Phoenix. Just moved back a few months ago, so it's where I'm residing now. So just a 2-hour drive up the 17, and we're here.
Yeah, there's like crazy construction going on over there.
Crazy.
Like literally,
Mhm.
almost like the whole way. Insane.
It's not fun.
We just got back from a little dinner at Chili's to say what's up real quick. So we're feeling full-bellied. There's clear skies outside, and we're ready to chop it up today.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, I think we should start with a little bio. What is your job role specifically?
So
Just to get really
yeah,
bullet point.
I
right there.
don't even have an exact title. You could call me social media manager, head of social, director of social for Gamers First Inc., which is like the umbrella company, and we have about 4 companies underneath it right now. So I run and oversee all the socials for that.
Sorry. No, I'm just looking at you.
Yeah. So like, all right. You're at G1. Let's start from the beginning. Like,
Okay.
let's start from whether like first semester you were like, let's say like a physics major. I was a physics major, but like let's say like first semester you're a physics major. New discovery of like social media management, pursued it. But like, what was like your story?
The come up.
Yeah, like what got you to want to do like where you're at now?
I actually was a marketing major first semester here. And then I realized I was like taking classes. I always knew I wanted to go into like sports marketing. So I wanted to work for like a professional sports team or, league. And I came to campus, started taking these classes, and I was like, why am I taking math classes and like these random classes that don't have anything to do with what I want to do? So I was looking into like changing my major, talked to my advisor, and I changed to strategic communication and emphasized in public relations and advertising because I was looking at it and it was basically the same classes as marketing. So I was like, sure, but it was more geared towards that.
And just without the math.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing I've heard from like marketing to Stratcom here. Big
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah, so a lot better. So I did that, and then yeah, kind of got into social media unexpectedly. So wasn't what I actually wanted to do. I just happened to find myself in it, and then I was like, making tweets is fun. Like, sure, and then went from there.
Yeah, dude, you get to make tweets for a living. Like, how cool is that?
That was literally my Instagram bio for the longest time was I make tweets for a living, or
Yeah.
I get paid to make tweets, and it was
You get to troll online and get paid.
Yeah,
just
dude.
make memes and get paid.
Where'd you start social media at?
So I was a marketing intern for NAU Athletics
Yes.
and started that my sophomore year.
Keep going. No, I'm listening. I'm
Oh,
just
okay. No, I
telling
was
these
just
people.
Yeah, so I sophomore year I started as a marketing intern for NAU Athletics, and then I've always been like the class clown type of person, and my
Okay.
bosses at NAU Athletics knew that, like to mess around, have fun, and so they were like, Michael, like, we don't have a Barstool account for NAU, and you're like, oh, you'd be the perfect person to like run this. Let's get in contact with them. So we got in contact with Barstool Sports thanks to the help of like our like athletic director in charge of like marketing and stuff, and we set up the account, and I started doing social media from there. Grew the account
With NAU Barstool?
but it was, so the thing was, they wanted to be like in association with NAU Athletics, so I could help post stuff for them too, like get the word out for like, hey, football game, if we need to sell more tickets and stuff.
Mhm.
But they were like, you can't tell anyone you're also like affiliated with us. So if you do something stupid and get in trouble, it doesn't come back to like our athletic director and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's a little inside story. But yeah, I did that. Grew that account up to like 10K. I think it's at right now.
Wow.
My buddy still, who I started with, he still runs it currently. So
I love that account. That was the first NAU related account I ever followed.
Yeah.
Was
made
NAU
so
Barstool.
many Rita Chang memes back in the day. Oh,
Yeah, that is an infamous character that I never actually experienced. Did you?
Really, yeah, well, like I never like personally like saw her, but you definitely hear all the stories about her, and I mean like now we got like Cruz now.
He seems
Cruz
like a
is
chiller.
he's a chiller, dude. Like
he seems like a really cool dude.
Mhm.
yeah, he's like super involved, which is super nice. Like he's like you like run into him on campus, and like he's like that kind of guy where he's not too corporate. Like he's like that perfect mix where you can go up to him, say what's up, and he's like super down to earth, dude. Which is so nice.
You always love a down to earth fella.
Yeah.
So what was the segue into esports then? If you're coming from athletics, which is where we're also coming from as well,
Yeah.
not Barstool, but yeah, how'd you get into the esports scene?
So I kind of was doing like 2 paths at once from like high school up until I graduated. It was the sports side, where I started as an intern and then like did other internships with a couple of professional sports teams and like was doing socials for like professional athletes, Olympians, and then I had my other side, which was just esports. And so I got into esports in like early high school. Oh, my phone. That's okay.
I got you.
I started into esports like towards the end of high school, like the amateur scene, kind of doing whatever I could to get myself like in there. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then my first like kind of break moment into the scene doing social media was with a organization called Team Atlantis.
Okay.
At the time, they were like one of the top. It was the hype, the peak of Fortnite back then when the Fortnite World Cup was happening, and so we had like the top European team for Fortnite. So we sent like 4 guys to the World Cup. So I got to do game day coverage for that and stuff. We got like 2nd and 4th actually, so like right behind Booga. So that was like my first kind of gateway into social media and like the professional side of esports. And that was my sophomore year of college.
Were you running their socials there?
Yeah, and I would like they were obviously on European time, so I was living in Gillenwater, building.
Oh,
Union.
Gillenwater.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I was living there with my buddy, and I would have to like wake up at like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. and go upstairs. We had like a common room area, and it was private. I had to go upstairs and like take all our weekly meetings and stuff to wake up my roommate. And so that was fun.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Gillenwater is a infamous location. Me and my roommate freshman year got locked up there for when COVID happened.
I did too.
We watched Squid Game, and it was like the most surreal experience. Like I don't even know if it's a dream or not.
Yeah.
Still, just like looking back
It was
at it.
definitely like a fever dream. It was just crazy. Like I was in there too my freshman year. Like literally the week I got back in January for like right out of like winter break, got COVID, and then they put me in Gillenwater with one of my buddies.
That's
It was crazy because they had no RAs in there.
Yeah.
So they like I don't know if it was with you, but we had to like order our food the day before, and if you didn't do it by like midnight, you didn't get food.
It was midnight?
Yeah.
It was something like 8 p.m. for us.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't get a sense of time because you're just inside. You can't even go out into the common area because it was like September of my freshman year, so like fresh out of COVID.
Yeah, and it was so funny because like the RAs would like they would come and drop off the food and then like leave the building.
Yeah,
because, like they didn't.
They would actually
COVID.
act like we had Ebola.
Yeah, so like sometimes like they came like pretty precise on the time, so like me and my buddies would get like breakfast, and then like right at 8 o'clock we'd like wait by the door, wait for them to knock, and we'd try to like catch them, like,
yeah.
Not trying to not to the point where like we'd get COVID, but just say like like just to scare them.
Yeah.
Like dude, they would knock on your door, bolt, dude, they would bolt.
My living in Gilwater was fun because I was the room that was like right off the walkway right there, and so my roommate Luis, he had this like 4 foot tall like DJ speaker.
What?
So we would put it up against like our ledge we had in the living room. We'd put it up against the window and open the windows and just blast music. So every time the classes got out and stuff, everyone would hear it walking down the sidewalk. And so like if the cops were like out right outside the window, we would like blast like the Bad Boys theme song and stuff, or like mess around with people. And it was the funniest thing because no one could tell like where it was coming from. And it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Just toying with them, dude.
The dorm life was definitely it.
Yeah.
So how much do you think your expertise throughout your time at NAU really propelled your career after the fact?
I think it, everyone says like oh, like wherever you go to school, like that's where you're meant to be. Like you're gonna find, everyone has a different path. Like if I went to a different school, I wouldn't be the same path as I am now. And it's all about, the experiences you get, making the best of your experiences you have there. And I like truly think I made the best of my time here at NAU, and that helped me not only like with my classes I was taking, which also like helped me. Like I took like a communication, like crisis communication class.
Yeah.
Which I ended up having to use, a few times in my career so far, like doing the PR, and you got to do all the dirty work and, try to calm the situation or, let the public know. So things like that have helped me. And then, being an intern for NU Athletics, and I was, doing the Barstool account, and I was the president of the like beach volleyball club team here also for 3.5 years.
Cool.
So it was like another leadership experience, like being in charge of people, booking like hotels for tournaments and like things like that. So that was like, I think everything together like set me up for success. Because I'm only 24. Like, I graduated like not even 2 years ago, December 2021. So I'm still fresh out of the gate, I feel like, in my career, but I feel like I'm set up better than most people are because of my experiences here.
Dude, yeah. I want to piggyback off of that because like we're both from San Jose, so it's like
408.
Yeah, dude, 408 gang, bro. But like, you see everybody going to like the UCs and stuff, and you're just like, oh, like, like NAU just like seemed like a really good opportunity for me because like, one, it's a dark sky city, and I came in here as like a physics major, and I have a lot of family that lives here, so it's just like Flagstaff is just the option for me. And like I see everybody else going to other schools, and like obviously everybody's path is different, but like I feel like I'm really like making the most out of like what I'm doing. Like I'm pretty involved with the school right now. I feel like I've made my mark.
Yeah.
And who knows what would happen if I went to like a UC and like what my dynamic would have been.
No, exactly. Like half of my high school in my graduating class ended up going to Cal Poly SLO, where you're from.
Yeah.
So it was like 50 kids went to Cal Poly and a bunch went to the UCs, or like, San Diego State was popular at the time I was graduating, like Long Beach State. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know what Northern Arizona University was until like a month or two into my senior year, and my mom found it online. I knew like ASU, U of A were the big schools, and I had a friend who played D1 volleyball at GCU, so I knew like what that school was. But my mom was like, oh, like I had a friend whose daughter goes to this school, and and it's in a small town called Flagstaff, and you should apply, whatever. And I was like, okay, like cool. And like I didn't even know what Flagstaff was.
Yeah.
Or NAU, and all of a sudden we toured it that like December, and I like committed like right then and there. It was like, oh, this is gonna be a good experience.
It's quite a school to fall in love with. I mean, I was at the same place too. I don't know. I came to see ASU. I took one little look at it, and I was like, never mind. Came up to NAU, walked into this lab, actually, and this is surprisingly what convinced me to come here.
It's such a vibe, this campus. Like the pine trees, and like my view, I was in Riley Hall, so my view, I was on the 6th floor, and I would open my blinds, and it's just, Mount Humphrey's right there.
Street.
Oh, dude,
yeah. So that was, you wake up every morning, and you're like, this gets me going. Like, this is what I gotta go outside and start my day. Like, this is great. Like,
that's definitely like one of the things about Flagstaff that is so beautiful is that like in California we don't see all 4 seasons, and like here, dude, we get literally like the definition of each season.
We get a perfect dose of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of snow this
like
past
the aspens,
winter,
dude. Like the aspen trees is amazing. Winter, like it's cold, but it's not like Minnesota cold.
Yeah, and it's not humid in the summer. It's just a nice, perfect like 80, and we're at a higher elevation, so that like helps too. And it's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, dude.
Do you guys surf?
No,
I've never surfed. We're like 20 minutes away from Santa Cruz. Never surfed in my life.
Yeah.
I've body surfed.
The water's
like,
too cold.
It is really cold.
Water's
the Pacific Ocean, unless I'm in Hawaii, Pacific Ocean water is not for me.
Yeah. But like, dude, like when you go down to like LA or like San Diego, it's so nice.
San Diego's
or like
gorgeous.
Mexico, like Rocky Point. That water's nice. I can go there.
Yeah. It's crazy how big of a difference it is.
Dude, right? Yeah.
And we've gotten kind of sharky too.
Recently,
our West Coast waters.
Yeah.
That is.
Just transported.
So we haven't really gotten too nitty gritty on your actual, like running social media.
My day-to-day.
Yeah. I guess, we talked about this over dinner earlier, so if you don't want to go that in depth, you are not required to. But yeah, the day-to-day as your Gamers First social media manager, what does that look like?
Yeah, so working with like different accounts, it's a bunch of different meetings, and like brainstorming to figure out, because every brand is different. So it's all about like figuring out what your audience wants to see and what what information they're gonna retain the best. And so it's a lot of trial and error. I've tried some type of post that have worked, and I'm like, oh, this is great, and I'll keep doing them on other accounts and stuff. And I've tried something where it's like, oh, this flopped, like we're not doing this again,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all about like trying to figure out what your audience wants to see. So and I'm also working with different departments. We have a full like partnerships team, and we have like a content team. So I work with them. We have like weekly meetings for each department and stuff. So I'll sit in like the our creative content meeting. Like Monday mornings, I'll wake up and it's like me and our graphic designers and our videographer, video editors, like creative directors, and we'll go over like, hey, these are the projects that we have coming out this week. So let's start setting timelines for like, I'll send you the raw footage, and you can go out and start clipping out stuff for socials, picking which parts you want. And for like the partnership side of things, we'll talk about like, hey, we have a partner with like Evolve PCs, so we have deliverables we have to do. So like let's start thinking of like post ideas for how to complete those deliverables, but also like a call to action and how to make them like actually count towards like driving in sales. Or if we have a code like a G1 10% off or whatever we're trying to promote for that partner. So it's all about like working in harmony with all my other departments to make sure I'm doing the best I can, and I have all the information I need and all the assets. And like the graphic designers, I'll be like, hey, we have a Halo tournament next month, just want to let you know, here are the dates, potential teams we're playing, just so you can get ahead of it. We'll go over like the creative strategy for what that looks like and what we want to kind of make the graphical theme or the brand voice. We might change it up depending on the game we're in. So it's a lot of just brainstorming. And
yeah, dude, it's crazy with social media how like much you have to adapt in like such little time, especially like the dynamic between different organizations. Like you're at G1 now, but you were at V1, and like with different positions come like way completely different responsibilities. But even then, let's say like you have the same position, the dynamic is completely like even if you have the same position, the dynamic is completely different just because of the organization.
Yeah, just
because
the
like
team you
social
work
media
with.
is such a new thing.
It changes
and, like,
every
people
day.
either very underestimate it, or they overestimate it. I feel like it's so new that they don't really know the sweet spot yet. So like what would you say is like a really big like difference between like V1 and G1?
So
Like work
yeah, I guess for those who don't know, before I was at G1, I was at version 1 of the Minnesota Rocker for pretty much all of 2022. Made the move out to Minnesota to work out of the office there, and then that's why I just moved back to Phoenix very recently when my lease ended. And version 1's a very big like corporate company. We had a massive office. We had probably, if we're counting like all the staff and players and like coaches we probably had over 50 people.
Yeah, wow.
And it's almost run like a full like corporate, like we get like I had a 401k, I had like health benefits.
Wow.
We had like a CFO who we pay us like it would be like every 2 weeks, whatever, like a normal 9 to 5 job pretty much. I'd go in the office at 9, I'd leave at 5, just like that.
That's so cool to think about for like an esports organization too.
Yeah, that's the dream, right?
Experience to do that. Be like, oh yeah, I'm clocking to my 9 a.m., but I'm like making tweets and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And the difference I think for me is at version 1, our like socials content team, we had about like 8 or 9 people. If you're adding like, we had like 4 people just doing socials, and we had our graphic designers and videographers. Now at G1, it's like I'm the only person who does socials. Then we'll have like 2 graphic designers, 2 videographer like video editors, and then like that's my team. It's like 4 of us, 5 of us. So it's a lot different. It's like I'm doing like more roles than I was there, which is also cool because I want to learn and get better every day, and I'm trying to grow as a person and trying to grow my career. So I love being able to take on more responsibility and also like learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's like more freedom and more responsibility,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the cool part about like social media management is like for me, like I was really big into Call of Duty. And like the second I realized like I didn't like, and also with athletics, like I played baseball in high school, knew pretty quick that I was going to make the pro league, but I wanted to be around that environment still. So I found that social media was like my way into like still being involved in that professional atmosphere and that competitiveness, but like, obviously not being on, like not playing on the field, but still being around that. Which is super cool. And like I wanted to talk about like the opportunities to travel with the teams. Yeah. I feel like it's always so fun because like your story, like every experience, every major is so unique. And like I wanted to ask you, like, what's like the craziest like story you have?
Yeah, you're talking about being homies with Arsenal, talking about being homies with social media directors of so many big orgs.
Yeah,
you gotta have a couple stories.
Because you remember when we were in Minnesota, dude? I walked into the girls' bathroom by accident.
Yeah,
it was like a curve, like it was like an outwards curve like that. And I was walking around, and I thought I saw the men's sign right there, and I go in, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the girls' bathroom. You know, I come out. And I'm explaining you the situation, and then there just happens to be a couple Call of Duty pros just right
like in front of us, behind us, like players for 100 Thieves and Optic, like in front and back of us. They're laughing, and it's
like, dude, they're listening to the story. Dude, it was so funny.
Yeah.
No, I've got definitely a lot of stories. I've traveled a lot this year. I've gone to majors like every month, it seems, and all over the country, and. I guess the most recent story I have isn't about like a major, but I flew out to Austin to our like office for our company. We were launching a creative agency also, so it was like our launch party for that, and it also happened to be like the Texas Longhorns like recruiting weekend for football.
Oh, okay.
And it was like my boss, he is like an owner of a couple private gyms out there, so a bunch of professional athletes will go and train there in the off season. So they were doing like a pre-training camp, like OTAs, like just week to go, get back into things. And he was like, "Oh, let's go out." So we went out. And my boss is a former NFL player himself, Kenny Vaccaro, shout out. And so we were like out on the town, of Austin. We're having drinks, we're hanging out, and he's like, "Oh, Michael, let's go back to my he's an investor at one of the clubs downtown." So we went over there, and he's like, "Oh, it was like packed, like." Like elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. It was like you couldn't even move.
So my Collins was so at busy. 12 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. But we walked back here to this VIP room, right? And there's this first VIP balcony. And I look up, I'm like the only person there who was not in the NFL. And it's like it's like guys just who I'm like watching on TV, and I'm like, oh, I know who you are. Like I know who you are. So that's pretty cool. And he's like, oh no, we're not going here. We're going farther back. And it was like an even more private VIP room. I walk in and there's the VIP. It's Deshaun Watson, C.J. Stroud, Micah Parsons, guys like that. I'm like, and it's dark. The lights are out.
Yeah.
And it was super cool to just walk in the room and be like, wow, this is awesome. These
How
guys.
did I get here?
Yeah, were you gawking? Were you
no,
just,
I mean
jaw down?
there's us, but it's just cool to finally see them in person, because you see these guys on TV, on social media. So now it's cool to shake their hand and introduce yourself and actually start just talking to people like that. Same the gaming space. When I first started, I was almost shocked. I'd be like, oh, Scump is right here. This is so cool. But then you start working with these players and starting building relationships, and they become just your they become friends.
Any other person.
Yeah.
That's how it was when I went out with you to Minnesota. Definitely the first couple, the first pro I saw, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
But then I feel like now, there's a point where you switch and you're just like, okay, I got to get in my professional state. I'm working
you're part of it.
They're technically a coworker at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just how do you it's crazy because you got to switch from that fan dynamic to a coworker space pretty quick.
Yeah.
No,
definitely
something that I saw pretty quick at Minnesota.
I've gotten our Halo team at G1 this year. We've made a few roster changes, but I've been to every Halo event we've had this year. So I've really gotten to know the guys. I've flown out to the office, multiple times when they're there practicing. So I've really gotten to know them, especially social media. It's almost, you have to build relationships, good relationships with your players who you're working with, because you have to get so in depth. I might be coming up all close on them with my phone after a game, and I'm like, hey, let's do a little interview and stuff, or I'm getting behind the scenes content and stuff, and they have to be okay, comfortable with you, and you want them to be comfortable around you, so you can ask them more questions, and they'll give you like more in-depth answers and like be themselves instead of like, you know, closed off like,
Yeah.
game was good. You know, they want them to open up.
Yeah.
So building relationships with players is like a huge part of my job, and it's just, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, dude.
When it comes to like content mapping and stuff, just, you know, I just started doing socials around here, and, you know, just joined athletics. So just out of curiosity, looking at somebody at your level within the scene, how are you finding the balance between consistency and keeping things fresh with running your accounts?
Yeah, I'd say like half of my job, or like, you know, 70% of my job is pre-planned posts that I have thought of well ahead of time. You know, like I might sit here now like this week and start making the calendar for October as much as I can. You know, it's like we have events on these days, so we're gonna plan out like what we're gonna do for game day coverage of those days, and I can just fill out some deliverable posts for partners on like, you know, A, B, and C day, and we just shot a podcast, you know, or like a YouTube video, so I can start cutting those out on socials like, you know, twice a week now, and different things like that. And then the other like 30% is like spontaneous. You know, like if there's a popular trend going on online, I want to hop on that trend, or if I think of like a last second meme that I think is like relatable, you know, someone calls us out before a tournament, or, you know, just different things like something big is going on in the world and I want to like meme about it or whatever. Like that's spontaneous and you can't plan that.
Yeah.
So you got to be prepared to like also come up with stuff on the fly, and you can shoot out right away, so you're like part of the masses and like get your impressions up still. So it's a good mix, but you just have to
kind of just feel your way through it, I guess.
Yeah.
Just depending on the sitch.
So do you have like a folder in your computer or like laptop with just meme templates just ready to go?
I do. I have a folder of like meme templates, and I have a folder of like reply, like whether it's like a
reaction
GIF,
images and stuff.
Yeah, whether it's like an image or a little video, you know, like for some, I have a lot of like from The Office, like Michael Scott, and like no,
yeah,
or like things like that, Wolf of Wall Street clips. Like I have a bunch of like Will Ferrell's a great one.
Classic.
So I've used that one. Or like a player resigns, you know, it's like I'm not leaving. So I have a bunch, like Michael Jordan, you know, quotes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of folders for like that kind of thing too. Then I have like a folder for like the team logos who we would play against, and like, you know, Halo team logos or like RLCS team logos, just so I'm prepared to like if I need to, you know, throw in their logos, whatever, on like a little meme video or graphic, I can just have it there in a second.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of prep.
I'm gonna stop the video really quick, and then start it up again.
And we'll be right back.
Has it been 30 minutes?
Dude, I kind of want to get into like, let's say like anybody in the audience that is like aspiring to be like also a social media manager. Like, what's the first step you'd say? Like, what's like the first thing you do, and then like other advice that you can give to like an aspiring. Like,
got to be networking.
Yeah, networking is big, especially in the long run. Like even if I don't like someone, I'm not gonna tell them like, "Hey, I hate you." Like we don't get along. Whether it's like
that does not work professionally.
Like I will be nice to anyone. I don't care what your political belief is, religious belief. I will be as nice as I can to you. And I may not actually like you, but I never know when we're gonna need each other's like services. You know, whether it's like me wanting a job in the future, or me like you could be working for a potential partner that, you know, our company wants to like partner with or collab with or whatever it may be. So it's always good to like be nice to everyone you meet, and like really just like open up to people, you know, get to know them, because then you'll be more memorable. And you never know where someone is like now, and you're like, oh, like they're a peasant, like they're not on my same level, they're like an intern right now, but you never know, in 10 years they could be like the CFO or CMO, you know, or head of social of a big company, and you could be, you know, wanting to get a job with them. So definitely networking, and then just building up your portfolio. Like, it doesn't even have to be on a big account or anything. Like, just on your personal account, you could make a little burner account and start posting on like replying to bigger accounts, or, you know, like org accounts, league accounts. Get your name out there. People start seeing it. Just reach out to people, be like, hey, like, would love to, you know, help where I can. I'll do it for free. Like, I know a lot for free.
Okay.
For a while, or like part-time work.
Just to personally build your skills and stuff like that. Okay,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of like did the same, because like, I mean, I met you like right when I was starting and it was super nice because like you were able to like show me kind of like
Yeah.
what I got to do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it was great. It was great for that, dude, because like I definitely had to do a lot of free work. And
Yeah.
it was definitely there's like some times where like I was working for an org that I just like
It's like grunt work.
dude, I was
You
just like,
have to
dude, I
do
don't
it
wanna
though.
this, you know?
We've all been there.
Yeah, so it's just like now it's great that like you get to a position where you're just like, you know, like you're in a spot where you're just like, ooh, I love where I'm at right now. Like, dude, this is so great. So like, I forgot what I was gonna say, dude, but yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's okay.
I just left, but
I mean, it seems like I think you definitely have this in common too. It seems like you got to where you were, at least from what I'm seeing, just by being hungry for the next thing. Like when you were working with Rocker, yeah, that was a big deal. Were you out of Minneapolis, by the way?
I was, yeah. So
Cool.
I moved from Flagstaff to Minneapolis, and I was there for a year.
Cool.
In the office.
Minneapolis is beautiful. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
cities. But when you were working there, were you seeing that as a pretty long-term thing, or could you ever have envisioned that you would have been where you are now with Gamers First at all?
I thought it was going to be maybe not like long-term, because I honestly...
It's hard to think really long-term with esports, for
yeah,
sure.
and my girlfriend moved out with me there. She got a job teaching out there, and we knew we liked it out there, but after being there for a little bit, we were like, oh, it's just not for us. But at the beginning, it was maybe like a couple of year type situation,
Okay.
then we'll move somewhere else. But it wasn't like long term,
Mhm.
maybe like a year or two, and then
Can't handle the mosquitoes out there for that long.
exactly.
Oh
And then
my
I got
God.
this opportunity after like 13 months of working there, and I was like, this is the next step for me. Like I can't turn this down. I'm obviously trying to grow, and it was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Have you looked at your next step as like after G1 perchance?
Not after G1. I mean, I like it here so far.
Mhm.
It's been awesome. Like the people I'm working with, the staff, the players, the company, like the brand itself. Do I see myself in social media in the long run? That I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been trying to learn more about like brand partnerships and like basic marketing or brand marketing and different things like that. Just in case the opportunity arises where I want to try to pursue another department and make a career out of that, because social media is fun, but doing day-to-day social media posting and stuff is not, it gets
you
tiring.
can definitely get burnt from it.
Yeah.
There's been weekends where I will work, the whole week, whatever, posting every day, my normal job meetings, and then that weekend will come and I'll have like 4 events and they're all at the same time. It's like we have a Halo tournament, we have a Rocket League tournament, Trackmania matches, our women's carball is going on also, and that's like a league account too, so it's more posting. So I'm like trying to post on like 4 different teams and stuff at once, and got like multiple Twitch streams open, and it's just like hours and hours of like just constant like, oh, like clip this moment, post it, like post the meme, post the scores, like it's just
You'd be fully in tune, fully
exactly.
focused all the time.
By the end of it, I'm like, I need a drink. This is a lot, and then it's
Yeah.
back to back weekends. And the next weekend, I'm like traveling to a tournament to do coverage, and like, it's fun. Like being at these majors is fun, but it gets tiring. Like when
Yeah.
you're
It's like
working
just
stuff,
constant hustle, dude.
you're there like
Mhm.
13 hours a day, and you finally get back to the hotel,
Jeez.
and like now you're trying to hang out. I'm trying to hang out with my coworkers. I work remote, so I don't get to see them as much.
Yeah.
So it gets it gets
like
tiring.
how it was in Minnesota. Like when we flew here, dude, we didn't sleep for like a whole day.
Yeah,
It
we
was, like,
took the
24
red
hours.
eye from Phoenix. At like our flight left at like 1 a.m. We got to the Rocker office at like 4:35 a.m. No one was there. I had the key. I opened it, and we just passed out on the couches until the staff.
For
they
like
rushed
an
us
hour,
back
and then we
in.
wake up and like some of the other guys that work socials came in. I met them as I was waking up. I was like delusional, dude.
Yeah.
It was like
Went straight to the
Couple
event to go
hours,
work
jet
until like
lag.
11 p.m. It was
Yeah,
just
dude.
gnarly.
we knocked out so early, and we slept till like noon. It
Yeah,
was like insane. Well,
Yeah.
I slept till noon.
yeah. I had to go to work the next day, but it was yeah.
Yeah.
So, what does your off the clock look like? Do you ever play video games in your own time?
So I get made fun of a lot for this because my coworkers, ever since I've been in esports, my coworkers, they've always been like, hey, you want let's hop on COD or let's hop on play some Madden or let's hop on some 2K or League, and I'm like, I don't play video games. Like
I hate video games.
I grew up like playing, like I've had like different consoles. I've had a Nintendo Wii. I've had a DS, Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, a PC now. But I've played like casually. You know, I've played COD and Madden and all those games for fun. But since I started working in esports, since it's become my job, when I'm not doing esports, I want to I don't want to play. Like if I'm working a full event week, whatever, I don't want to get off the computer and start playing video games.
Do more of it. Yeah.
I want to go and do something else. Like I'm big into sports, so I watch a lot of sports no matter what it is. I love watching sports. Love going outside and doing things, or like going to a movie, or going bowling or mini golf, or going to grab a drink, or traveling. Taking a day trip back up here or Sedona. Like I like to do a lot more than just stay at home and sit on my computer.
Yeah. Dude, okay. So I think we should ask him the hot take.
Yeah.
So like Jack's hot take was League of Legends is not fun, entertaining.
Okay.
It looks like there's ants playing.
Yeah.
Mine is I think Call of Duty Ghosts is probably like one of the best CODs made. Like what would you say is like your biggest like hot take on like esports?
Or just video games.
Or
gaming.
Yeah. I'd probably say, so my hot take for the Call of Duty franchise is that Jetpack CODs are by far the best games they have ever made.
I can agree
like
with you.
Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare.
BO3.
I played so many hours of Advanced Warfare was my shit.
Advanced Warfare is so fun.
And like Jetpack COD was bring back Jetpack COD.
It was the biggest skill gap for sure.
100%.
It was awesome, just like watching FaZe
Like
play.
wall running.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then like
so
like,
fun.
hang in the air.
Yeah.
In Advanced Warfare, you can do like all those side dashes like in mid gunfight, and you can slam people. Like like Ganondorf in Smash, like how he just like slams. You can do that to someone's head and it kills them.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
I think their hot take would probably be the best BR of all time is H1Z1.
Whoa.
Wow.
I haven't
Yeah.
played H1Z1.
Interesting.
You go back and you watch like the H1Z1 Pro League and you play it and stuff. It's so cool. I used to play it and I'd watch like the Pro League of it, and it was like I've always thought it was the coolest. It was so cool.
You know what else? What's really cool about Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare? Uplink. Like that game mode was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Rocket League. Like it was kind of like capture the flag in like Rocket League. You had a ball and you had to not kind of like Rocket League, but like you had a ball and you had to toss it into their side into like a floating like sphere.
It's like water
It was
polo.
like a goal. Yeah, kind of like water polo.
Like Quidditch.
Yeah.
Speaking of Quidditch, I just never seen Harry Potter before in my life, and this past week, my girlfriend and I and two of our friends binged watched all eight movies. So every night we'd watch another one.
Yeah.
Great series.
Yeah.
I've been
Great
wanting to do that.
series.
I've never seen them either. I'm a big Star Wars guy myself.
So I'm a big Star Wars guy. So we're watching Ahsoka right now, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, you have to watch Harry Potter," and I was like, "All right, I've watched Lord of the Rings, which was okay. Star Wars
Whoa,
been great,
that's crazy.
but I watched Harry Potter and I was like, whoa, like
This guy in the glasses.
This is so sick. Like I was getting
Yeah.
into it. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Oh, dude,
That game was had the highest charting like
Hogwarts Legacy
players
or whatever?
playing.
Yeah.
like in the beginning of the year.
Now
for
I
a
need to
good
play
while.
that. Now that I'm gonna start playing it.
Yeah, you can be like a dark
and then
wizard.
that Lego Star Wars game that came out too.
Yep.
That
Couple
blew
years
up
ago?
too.
Yeah.
No, there's like one recently that came out. Wasn't there like?
I
one, like,
just
last
downloaded it
year?
on my Xbox.
Okay,
The
yeah,
Skywalker Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got it ready to go.
Yeah. We have like 5 minutes.
We can make it work. I mean, I don't know if you heard that. We've got like 5 minutes left.
No, you're good.
Before we close things out, I don't know, compared to you, how much of a platform we have. Or is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anything like that?
Yeah. Let's shout out Swag My Setup. It's on all socials, YouTube, Twitter, Swag My Setup. It's our new content series we're starting. We go to like a professional athlete's house and we swag out their gaming setups. We build them a brand new PC, partner with other companies and give them all the best equipment they need to like have the ultimate gaming room. So our first episode just launched last week. We did Micah Parsons, the Defensive Player of the Year from the Dallas Cowboys. We got Johnny Manziel, Money Manziel up next. He's actually in Scottsdale. So that's gonna be really cool to go to his house and meet him and film that. So yeah, super cool.
What about your socials?
My socials, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. It's Maguire 6499
It's like TikTok,
Maguire.
OnlyFans.
6499. Just link in the description below.
Yeah.
For my
I'll have
socials.
that link for when we post it. Whenever.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, wait. I just thought of this question. It's going back to.
Was it your
socials
question
for
from
a
earlier?
little bit. Yes. Yeah. So,
Okay.
dude, like on my Instagram, I'm signed into like 6 different accounts.
Yep.
Do you ever like? I feel like I'm like so paranoid sometimes making a post because I'm like, dude, am I posting on like the wrong account?
I've done
like,
that.
Because I'm like, am I like on
For
my
real.
personal account posting on like thinking I'm on my personal account, then I'm like posting to NAU Athletics, like like I'm like, oh, you know, dude.
I've done that. I posted on my personal account by
Yeah.
accident when it like was meant to go to like Rocker.
Yeah.
Like quickly delete. You're like or like
People, like it to all your friends, like what the heck? This is Michael.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
see like I'm one of the only like social media managers I think who I post everything by hand. So I'll have everything like written out in my drafts and stuff. Like make sure all the grammar's right, the video's correct, everyone's tagged. But I still use like programs for like the analytical side to track all of my analytics and partners and stuff, so I can see the nitty gritty side of that because it's a big part of my job is like the analytics of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have programs like they can schedule a tweet for 5 p.m. whatever. I don't do that. I'm too paranoid. I'm gonna it's gonna post. I'm gonna look at it and be like, dang, there's a grammar error. Like that's the wrong graphic. So I'm so skeptical about that. So I will post I'll wait. I'll be like, oh, if I have to post this at like 5 p.m. when my game starts, I will sit there on my phone with the draft in my hand. I'll be like, all right, 4:59, 5 p.m. Post on all socials.
Wow.
I'll do it by hand.
Yeah.
I'm so meticulous about that.
So you don't
Yeah.
use any automatic programs for those kind of things?
No, I stopped doing that when I was at Rocker. We did,
Yeah,
but
what'd you guys
ever
use
since
again?
we use Sprout Social,
Yeah, Sprout. Yeah.
and then I forget the other one we used. But now I just do it all by hand. I'm too paranoid. Like I'm gonna mess up or because there's glitches like that happen. And
Yeah.
Twitter's or X, it's changing like every day. So I don't know what function's not gonna be there next day. So I'm just gonna
I feel
post it
yeah,
by
I
hand.
feel
Then-
like Instagram is super finicky too with it.
Mhm.
Oh my
Like, Instagram's like
gosh.
so weird.
Like
Oh,
sometimes I've
gosh.
posted like 4 photos, and the order I'll post it and the order will get messed up. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, this is not the photo I want to be like my main one. Like,
Yeah.
so it's
It wouldn't
just-
have been like that if
Yeah.
I did it myself.
or it cuts up the time sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also have another question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Have you incorporated AI into your workflow ever? Because we actually just started the TikTok type videos that we just posted on ours were made with AI.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, so I've just started recently using AI for our short form. So we'll have like an hour-long podcast episode or something, and I'll plug it into an AI program and have it do
It was incredible. It made I don't know.
the short form.
It like ranks them based off of how accurate of a content kind of video it was. Like if it can analyze it enough, it's like, okay, yeah, it's something that they want to see out of a score of 100, 1 to 100.
Yeah,
And it ranks them, 99 first, 96 next. And it made I don't know, 20 videos or something like
Yeah,
that.
it made
10
like
videos.
15 to 20 videos in like 10 minutes. Didn't have to do anything.
That was incredible.
It was cool
Yeah.
because you send the link to the YouTube video, and then it does it. You can close the tab and just do whatever, and then it sends you an email when it's ready.
Mhm.
Just super cool. But I mean, yeah, we hit the 45-minute mark. So.
Yeah. Well, this was a fantastic episode. I had a great time chopping
No,
it up
I
with you.
appreciate you having me. I'll have to come back up here another time soon and do another
Yeah, a little
the
follow up.
state of esports, and we go into just talking
Yeah,
about
dude.
That'd be great.
esports. As
Yeah.
teams and seasons start coming up now, and
Yeah.
chat about that.
Like we were thinking about for the next couple episodes, how cool would it be to get one of the varsity captains of one of our teams and just talk about their season happening,
Yeah,
and then all the stuff that people don't see,
how they're
we have-
prepping for it, how they're building
Yeah.
a roster,
Yeah.
what goes into practicing, because the metas change,
Yeah.
and yeah, it'd be cool.
I'd really like to
Cool.
talk to some of the Overwatch guys,
Yeah, dude.
if that's possible.
There's been a lot of passion lately.
Yeah.
So
Well, are there any final thoughts from either of you guys?
I appreciate you chopping it up with me. It's been great, so fun, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do the rest of the year. I'll be
Yeah.
tuning in.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having us. It was great to finally meet you in
Oh,
person.
it was great
You and
meeting
I.
you too. Yeah.
I guess it's going to be a wrap on the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. And without further ado, I was Jack,
I'm Richie.
I'm Michael.
and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.